The glory days of the once popular MMO 4Story were over. Disappointed by many changes, many players turned their backs on the game. However, Iberia's kingdoms remained full of fighters and many players continued to carry hope. However, even these hopes seemed to disappear with time. What happened after patch 4.4? Welcome to the fourth part of The Evolution of 4Story. Feel free to write us your opinion about the patches. Just in time for the beginning of summer, patch 4.5 was released on June 15, 2014. Here, the well-known security system was introduced, which should make the accounts of the players more secure. Thus, activities such as trading or selling were only possible after entering a password set by the player. Many players were pleased with the release of the companion system in patch 4.1. Now, you could also give your little companions their own color. If you were in a group during a fight and killed opponents, the honor received was divided among all players until this patch. This was changed, and so only the single player received the honor. Also, all players who were below max level were now upgraded during PvP to allow for fairer battles. There were also innovations in the battlefield. 2 brand new maps were added, and an entry fee was introduced. In addition, several more bugs were fixed and the finish bar in the interface was adjusted. On November 26, 2014, it really crashed because patch 5.0.1 was released and the max level was raised from 97 to 140. For many players, it meant the end because the motivation to level so many levels was no longer sufficient for many. Understandable, because 4Story is for the most part a continuous quest-based MMO. With the new level cap also came 2 new areas, and among them another war zone, Anbari and Undred. In terms of graphics, the 2 new maps were praised. The mission maps for all levels have been merged into a unified mission war zone, with battles starting every 2 hours. In addition, the companion levels have been increased to 20, and the attributes have been adjusted. Besides that, new equipment and weapons of skill level 44 were introduced, which could now be crafted. Otherwise, the guild houses after a successful castle conquest were removed. The following patch was perceived very positively, as a completely new PvP mode was introduced. Battle of the Worlds was released with patch 5.1 on May 1, 2015. A battle of different servers and countries taking place on a special map where 49 players have to fight against 49 players. The goal is to destroy the enemy statue to lead in the score to get the most reward points in the end. Since the new PvP feature had its appeal, many players came back. Shortly before Christmas that same year, patch 5.2 was released, more precisely on December 16, 2015. A small but not bad patch because it introduced the guild skills, which allowed the guild members more attacks and buffs. Almost a year later, on November 23, 2016, a very small and very criticized patch followed. For once again, new equipment and weapons were released, this time with skill level 48. For many players, this meant another devaluation of their previous 44 equipment, which is why a new wave of players left the game. What the entire community didn't know until then, it was supposed to be the last patch released for years. Weeks turned into months and years with no new content and no more updates. 4Story was dropped by the developers. No statements, no announcements. All players were left in the dark for years. The number of players dwindled and well-known guilds disbanded. The glorious time of the once so lively MMO was over. In the past years, new servers were opened every now and then, which were decorated with events. But without new content, these servers were also doomed, which happened again and again after a few months. On March 20th, 2020, new dungeons were released on a new server, but at the end of it, you did not get any rewards. The 4Story developer, Zemi Interactive, announced a new edition of the MMO with 4Story Origin at the beginning of 2020, but there was no more information about it so far. It seems that players will only have to wait for one more feature: the server closures.